Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo. Ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no flight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder.
Good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson, and of course tonight with me is Techy Joe. How are you, darling? Happy holidays to everybody. We hope you're enjoying the shows.
Well, I'm doing well if you'd taken a breath. And happy holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are mugged.
Yes,
we got mugged, guys. We got mugged.
Hello, Shannon, darling. Hello, Miss Brenda. How are you? Lady Guinevere's the one that mugged us. Thank you very much, darling. They're enjoyable.
Lady Gwendolyn.
Yes. Oh,
Lady
so the holiday
Guinevere.
season is upon us, and tomorrow is Christmas. And
Yes,
I'm
yes,
getting
yes.
feedback.
You're getting feedback?
Yeah. I'm echoing.
Echo, 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 echo.
It sounds like that I'm being picked up by your microphone.
How?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think you're just having a moment.
Okay, that's a possibility. I've been having a few of them because, we
Did you do headset tonight?
yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I remember to put my earbuds in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
We've had a few moments recently.
Yeah.
Okay, Brenda says she heard it, but it's gone. You may have to pop your headset out and put it in your little base and then try again. That's all I end up doing normally. See, This is why I'm Techy Joe. Thank you, Shannon.
All right, let me try to take my ears off and put them back on, guys.
Oh, but no, it's been a few moments recently in our lives. Yeah, it has. Yeah. Oh, but yay, we can successfully report we do have a vehicle.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a moment.
Hey, this one wasn't as bad.
No, it wasn't.
It was nowhere near as bad.
No, it wasn't. I'd done a lot of pre-research. I had 4 options available to me that I wanted. We ended up at option 2, which was an easy finance opportunity, but a little bit more down payment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still worked out well, I think.
Hey, and I didn't end up with the swap thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, no, can we talk though? Has anyone else looked at the vehicle pages recently in Facebook Marketplace or online, just general car lots even? I swear to God, everyone heard that the value of used cars skyrocketed, and because there's still low production on new models. And I swear to God, everyone towed everything out of every lake ever, everywhere. Yes, I do like it. I do. It's been nice. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get comfortable. I'm not as flexy as I used to be. Oh, but yeah. But no, I'm liking. So we got an 08 Kia Sportage. It's all-wheel drive V6. Yes. I'm liking it.
Yeah, well, we had talked about that would be the next model we went for you.
Yeah, like that was supposed to be the new car. Like newer than what we have. I wanted to go up a level.
Yeah.
Like I like my Soul. I really do. I like my Soul. But kind of wanted to go up a level.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, it's nice. It's got some power. Doesn't have all the lovely features. Hey Gwen, happy
Gwen.
holidays. Yeah, we're
there
talking about you.
Officer.
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah, she's the one that mugged us.
We were mugged. Sorry, I'm also rocking cold tea tonight. Like I just can't make up my mind.
Yeah, you know.
Mugged.
Okay. Which we love. It holds a perfect amount of coffee for a good segment or two.
Hey, you know,
it was very sweet. But let's get back to the car, and then we have to tell the mugging story.
We have to tell the mugging story. Oh yeah, it's nice. It's not like, I mean, it's 8 years older than the Kia Soul we have. So, like, you know, there's things we've gotten used to. So we're having to contend with that. Like, well, there's things we've gotten used to. There's things that we really weren't thinking about. Until we got the 08 Kia Sportage. And like, because my Kia Soul is drive-by-wire. It's steer-by-wire, it's accelerator-by-wire. I'm pretty sure it's brake-by-wire. So, like, you don't, like, feel anything. Like, you're not getting real feedback. And so you got into the Sportage, and one of the first things you're like is, like, there's a wobble in the steering wheel. And I'm like, no, there isn't. And I'm like, okay, there's a little wobble in the steering wheel. But then I'm like, honey, you haven't driven a vehicle in like 2 years that was actually not like an overglorified arcade game. Because that's what we have.
True, but you know, but it's a new car to me. I'm very like scared of it to begin with. It's like dating me. We have to get to know each other. We'll have to figure out each other's rhythm, which we've done pretty good today. I can't back the fucker up into the driveway. That just like that plan of please always keep my car backed in. Yeah, that one's good. You know, we'll leave that for Joe to do. One of these, yeah. The next house we get is going to have a round driveway.
So yeah, I was curious though. No, they're the ones without photos. Darn it. Every time. So yeah, I wanted to. Well, I was going to bring up the photo of the car and just be like,
that's easy. Give me a minute.
Okay, you rock that. But yeah. Just make sure you get white and it's white.
Yeah, it's white. Yeah, it needs bathed.
Yeah, it does need bathed. He's had one picture taken with it.
Which they haven't released yet.
No, but that's like the first thing that we've had thought-wise is like we really got to wash the baby. Like the baby is new. The baby should be prettier. It needs to be made prettier. Here we go. All right, I think I got it. I think I can zoom in. Oh, where's my zoom? Oh, come on. Can I not? Ah, dang it. Zoom. There we go. Okay. But, like, stop scrolling. There we go. Alrighty. That was a bad life choice. Alright, so we're going to try this. and see how it goes. And share. There we go. So yeah, let me get back here. So this is effectively what we bought.
Yep.
Yeah, almost identical. Yes.
Well, I actually have the picture of it. I just can't get it to come up.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Let me see if I can send it to you.
I don't know. This is working. This is not the exact vehicle we bought. I mean, it looks identical, except like it is so not that clean. Okay, cool. So let me pull that up real quick. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if you can zoom that one.
Alrighty, let me see what I can do with that.
There you go.
There we go.
Yep. So there's baby.
Like pretty baby.
Yep. We're the fifth owners. We're technically the third owners, but 2 car lots own it, so it says we're the fifth owners. Baby.
Yeah.
He just named it.
Oh, did we just name it Baby?
We have
Princess and Baby.
Yes.
What? Well, now we have to watch where we park it, or we'll put her in a corner. And that no one puts Baby in a corner.
Baby in a corner.
Exactly.
So we're hoping that Baby stays with us to 2008. At 2028, she'll be 20 years old and she can graduate then. There's some body work that needs to be done. There's some other things that I want done to her. But it has the 3 main factors I require: a decent seat, a good running engine, and a radio that can bomb.
Oh yeah, and we've finally got the luggage rack.
Yeah, I just don't know who I'm going to tie up there yet.
Aw, now come on. But no, we're excited about it. Like this has been a long time coming. I thought we would get there like February, March, April, because again, I thought like the market, like the prices would come back down. Like we've still been looking. It's just where the prices went up. It was like, yeah, we're not buying that.
Well, like we've done pretty well because I had looked at this one in September. And he said, no, not yet, not yet. And it actually went down in price.
Oh, yeah. So if nothing else, we did save a few bucks. Fundamentally. Right. But yeah, it was like, yeah, because I'm weird about cars. Like there is only so much I will pay. And then I'm like, no, sorry. I always hit the wrong button there. But yeah, no, it's one of those things though. I'm just like, there's a certain point in like car pricing where I'm just like, no.
Yep.
It's like, it's pretty, but no.
Yep.
It's nice, but not at that price.
Yep. Phoenix and Gwen came down and we went car shopping. Gwen drove us around. She was wonderful. Thank you, Miss Gwen. Got to spend the day with them. It was the first time we had actually socialized out of our little cube in almost like 4 months, which was weird.
Yeah. Like we've had a lot of repetitiveness in the last few months. Like it's been very on build an empire, on.
Yes, build the empire. But no, so now we have Baby, and hopefully Baby does well. Princess will be going in for her dolly surgery and a heart transplant, hopefully in March.
I'm sorry, her dolly surgery and her heart transplant?
Yes.
What about her is top heavy?
Everything about her is top heavy, honey. Have you ever not driven her in the wind?
No. See, you're misunderstanding. Top heavy for light enough to take flight. Like if she had wings, we could have, a lot of flown miles on her.
Yeah.
Like all she needs is wings.
Yeah.
So, she would fly.
Yeah. But no, it was an interesting experience. This
Mm-hmm.
is the first experience of me shopping with people that was enjoyable. And it was actually really
Hey,
interesting what the people had out there and some of the good camera angles they can get.
wait a second. I've taken you to buy 2 vehicles since we've been
Yes,
together. You just said this was the first enjoyable one?
yes, darling. It was the first enjoyable experience we have bought cars.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah. You bought the last 2 at gunpoint.
Yeah,
Like, and I wasn't holding the gun, really. It was just one of those, like, I don't know what else to tell you.
yeah,
Like, you need a car.
right. But no. So it's interesting what has gone on this year. It's been a really interesting year. We'll probably talk about that New Year's Eve, looking back at some of the things that all of us have gone through in a year in review, um, and just how things have changed. So we're going to catch up with some stories that we have talked about, and then there's some other things that we want to talk about. It's kind of like a. So first up, the injured Manfield candle factory workers have filed a lawsuit. So we're going to see this
Well,
go to
take a
court.
sip. Take a sip.
Oh,
Oh my God. Alrighty.
so, alrighty. So we knew this was coming. I think it's very good the victims stated allegedly they were included severely injured workers, violated worker safety laws, as well as massive cover-up schemes discovered in the past 24 hours.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. I think they're going to have feds down on them too.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's something tells me that's a great big ocean no.
Oh, this is more than an OSHA
Like,
no. This is like major OSHA violations,
well, and wage an
building,
hour.
wage an hour.
Like, there's some workplace safety there. There's a lot of issues.
Right. And Bouchard, which I'm not a real fan of him, he annoys me. But he actually made a great statement here. It says everyone is expected to live up to certain standards in both the law of safety and of being a decent human being. And I hope everyone lived up to those standards. Not according to reports, dum dum.
Yeah, really. And hey, Amy. But yeah, no. Like, none of that went well. None of
Right.
that went well.
None of
Like,
it went
that
well.
was such a mess.
It has
Like,
been.
ugh.
And then Snapping Turtle hasn't been back to Kentucky yet.
Shit. I am sure he has not.
No,
I am sure he has not.
his own state. Neither has Ron Paul La. Both of them have not toured the state. Of course, President Biden was there this week and toured the state and was on the ground talking to people. Females already on the ground working. They are already moving forward with FEMA care and declaring it a disaster and pushing everything to the max.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it was a nightmare situation. They really should have been able to go home. I'm just,
right.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Like, I do. I hope it becomes one of those cases that HR people talk about and go, yeah, you don't want to ever pull that stunt.
I hope that it becomes one of those cases where there are laws and regulations put into place like we have with overtime, like we have gotten with nursing staffing, like we have gotten with other things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do think it's also like, I don't even know that it's going to matter. And here's why I say that. Not because 8 people died, not because of the situation that was absolutely horrible. I'm just thinking this is one of the last stories that we're probably going to be hearing. Like, I think it's like the beginning of that like snowballing end of employees just putting up with shit to keep a job.
Right.
I think in a few years, if the same circumstances were to happen, you'd just see a mass walk out and go, fire all of us then. Have a nice holiday. Screw your company. I think we're a few years out from that being like the normal mindset. That like a company's not even going to try. Or if they do, it's going to be like, well, you're going to be hiring a whole lot of new people.
Right.
Like, that's where I think we're headed.
Right.
And I think these are going to be stories that, like, in the future, it's going to just boggle people's minds. Like, why didn't they leave?
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, when we, like, because I remember sitting in history class, and some of the stuff before, like, our, so to speak, more modern 100-year-old labor laws went into effect. Like, you hear the like these historical events, and you're just sitting there like, why did people put up with that shit?
Right.
Like, why would you do that?
Right.
Like, I think it's going to fall in that same realm as, like, you know, you go a couple of decades in the future, and it's going to be like, why? Like, we'll have to try to explain this to teenagers. Like, why would you do that? It's like, well, once upon a time, there was the 1980s, and everything ate everything, and then we all started threatening people that, you know, we'd fire them or telling them they should be grateful to have a job. And this is where we ended up. It was a wild, like, 40-year run.
Right.
Like,
and it's one of those 40-year runs that's, like, very different. Like, I think we're going into a new age as far as employment, as far as what a job looks like, as far as what a gig looks like.
Yeah, I think we're about to revamp the idea of employment entirely.
Right.
Because I think we've all hit that brick wall of, like, this just isn't sustainable. You can't do this.
Right.
Like, you can't work like this. You can't live like this. You can't, you know, be on this treadmill. Like, it's not sustainable. Like, we've watched enough people die out of it. Like, and death by work is ridiculous. And I mean, for the things that we're talking about, I'm not talking about, like, you have a workplace accident and, oh my God, that's so horrible and tragic. I'm talking about, like the Mayfield situation, in which people die because of workplace stupidity.
Right.
Like, when you have managers that cannot get it, and then you have employees that are legit, like, I have to have this job. I have to do whatever you tell me to do. I think we've hit the wall of, like, that's just not a thing.
Right.
Yeah. It's my hope, anyway.
I know. And,
like,
you know,
that would be my Christmas gift.
Right. Well, my Christmas gift would be for the labor unions to come back over. And
hell
places
yes.
to freaking get labor unions again.
Oh, flip yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we've needed that for, like, that's needed to become a thing again for a while. Like,
for a very long while.
I'm still confused as to how we have managed to talk people out of unions. Like, how has that worked?
Well,
like, how?
It's worked because of bad press on unions. It's worked because of, you know, different situations that occurred in unions, and, you know, people not just wanting to pay the dues because they don't see the benefits of it.
Yeah, I
because our government has weakened because they've weakened the rights of the unions.
Yeah, no, I think that needs to become part of, like, the 2022 Build Back Better, like, part D.
Right.
Like, there needs to be a total change in how we view unions, what authority unions have, what abilities unions have.
Yeah.
to create, like, help with creating a better workplace. Like, we've tried relying on the federal government. Like, I'm sorry, if you've been employed at any point since the 1970s, you got to be sitting here and looking at the bullshit and going, yeah, this didn't work. This didn't work. This was a bad plan to be.
What I would also like to see is the guilds come back, the professional guilds, the electricians guilds, the plumbers guilds. Hell, I'm part of the Professional Terrorist Association. I joined a psychic guild in a heartbeat. When we, especially if we had the bargaining power to go and buy, like, the equipment is designed for us, we could actually buy it in bulk through the guild. We'd be able to negotiate phone contracts, medical plans. I'd love to join up with, like, I don't know, 400 psychics. Can you imagine what Dell would give us as a price?
Well, not only that, but just like having, like, associated professionals that can actually have a resource to understand your industry properly. So that, like, you can walk into an accountant that is pre-vetted, who isn't going to give you a bunch of crap, who isn't going to sit there and be like, a deduction for salt.
Right.
What? And just, like, not get it. Like, how does this work? Why are you trying to take a deduction for this? Why are you trying to do...
Right.
Like, what?
Right.
Okay, so big controversial question, is Joe Manchin wrong? Okay.
Yes, Joe Manchin is wrong. Highly wrong.
I mean, it's a day that ends in Y. I'm sure he is. Like, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
Joe Manchin is wrong because he doesn't want to tax the rich to pay for the child tax credit, and for children to get their money every month instead of one big lump sum at tax time. He is wrong because he doesn't want to expand Medicare and Medicaid. He doesn't want to give health insurance to more of the population. He is wrong because he doesn't want to invest in the energies and the retraining and even bringing back miners. Like, the better plan would have brought back miners and specific types of coal that's still needed. We still need coal for makeup. We still need coal for a lot of things. Joe doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to spend money on the people and charge the rich.
Well, and his biggest one recently was, like, his biggest wrong recently was there are apparently multiple witnesses to his comments that he just didn't want to give everyone more tax credits because he feels or more money because he feels like it's all being used for people to just buy drugs. Like, that's what he thinks the economic stimulus packages are being used for. Like, that's his opinion of his constituents and all, pretty much every other constituent of every other, is that everyone's using them to buy drugs.
Right.
And I'm like, no. Like, that's not true. Now, unpopular opinion, I don't think Bette Midler had anything to apologize for. I really don't. I think she, as politely as anyone could, summed up the state of West Virginia at the current moment. We are poor, we are illiterate, and we are strung out. Now, when I say that, illiterate doesn't just mean inability to read and write. I know plenty of people that have the actual skill of being able to read and being able to write. I also know a lot of people who cannot be bothered to fucking think. I know people that have not read a single book, magazine, news article, if they can help it, since they graduated from high school. If they did. If they did. they are so disconnected, and it represents a lot of people in West Virginia who just don't bother.
Right.
So they are fundamentally ignorant of everything that is going on around them, and that is way too many people in this state.
Mm-hmm.
Way too many.
Right.
They
the
do
other
not
part of this that was included in the Build Back Better plan, and I think
Mhm.
the reason that he is going against it is because there is part of the Big Back Better plan that requires the FDA to renegotiate drug allowed prices for diabetic medicines.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, you knew he wasn't going to vote for that.
Oh, of course.
Like that's currently like the biggest moneymaker in the state of West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Are drug companies. Not actually in a way that benefits anyone in the state of West Virginia. Mm-hmm. But in ways that fundamentally benefit the state attorney general's office, general slush fund. Mm-hmm. So he can go redecorate his office and buy some nice shit.
27 TVs to go into his new house.
There you go. Yep. So like he but it's big money in West Virginia right now to basically slap drug companies on the wrist for the crap that they pull.
Right.
Because now, granted, I will say some of this is even debatable. Like, as in trying to understand the level of like what they have done in West Virginia. Versus the amount of the population affected. Because argumentatively, again, another unpopular opinion, you could honestly say that we did not have nearly the opioid problem before that we had once doctors became scared shitless and pharmacies became scared shitless to write and fill, respectively, prescriptions for opioid medications. Once that happened, we suddenly had a massive problem. Right. Like, we had a problem. We had a prescription drug abuse problem. Then we had an overdosing death, needle share, HIV disaster.
Right.
Honestly,
but let's take a look at the talking points that's been provided to us. Build Back Better framework. Hi, Ashley. Offers universal and free preschool to all 3 to 4 year old children, the largest expansion of the universal and free education since the states and commissions counties established public high school in 100 years ago. Makes a larger investment in child care in the nation's history, saving most American families more than half their spending child care. Delivers affordable, high-quality care to older Americans and people with disabilities in their homes while supporting workers who provide that care. Provides 39 million households $300 a month in tax cuts per child, extending the American Rescue's expansion of child tax credit. So they can take that $300 a month, and one family was taking that $300 a month and buying formula that's going at $25 a can.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Like, it is not at all easy to, like, let's stop and think this out. While we, in West Virginia being a prime example, like, we have a massive drug problem right now. I'm not saying we're the only state ever. I'm saying we have a massive drug problem that is happening. When we're talking about tax credits, the income levels that we're talking about, like, can we just talk about drugs are really expensive? Like, it's kind of hard to get an income tax credit if you're not working and trying to get ahead. It's really hard for, like, one or two things is going to happen there. You are either talking about a population that is already so economically disadvantaged, good fucking luck buying drugs. Like, you don't have the money. Or you're talking about a population that is going to work, and have you seen the median income in West Virginia?
Mm-hmm.
It's garbage.
Right.
It's garbage. Because we keep opening more retail, we keep opening more restaurants, we keep opening more hotels and lodging, more low income employment opportunities. Now, thankfully, those the pay for those are increasing dramatically.
Right.
And that gives me a lot of hope of people at least being able to tread water instead of just being under it.
Well, I thought I would, when I read this price about baby formula being $39 a container, and knowing that, when we had the babies, it was a container a week. And so that's $30 a week coming out for one baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can't imagine if you have to have a specialty formula, like if they're lactose intolerant or if they need iron, how much that formula is.
And that can shrunk. It shrunk.
Yeah.
Everything else is shrunk and the price has gone up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, you used to get 10 packs of oatmeal.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get 6.
Right.
Same price, but yeah. Like, it's things like that. We're constantly getting hit with that. Because it's not just like price direct inflation where you can sit there and look at it. It's like, okay, but if you change the definition of what a box of oatmeal is, like the concept, the construct, but the price stays the same, no, the price went up.
Right.
It's like, hi. And have you noticed how big like quarts of milk are getting in physical packaging?
Yeah.
Like, they're really trying to make sure you're a little confused when you buy that quart of milk instead of that half gallon of milk.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so you can very easily screw that up.
Yeah.
Like, these are all ways in which, and like the price will be like minimally different, like all that crap. Yeah.
Right. Well, I know, Ashley, honey, you've got a baby. If a can of formula lasts, what, a week? If that, comment in. Anyone that's raised babies here recently, how long one can of formula will last you?
Mm-hmm.
And we're not talking the big ones.
1 week if I'm lucky.
Okay. So, and that was reported by ABC. What this family was using their tax child credit money each month for was to pay for formula.
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing nursing and formula.
Mm-hmm. Like, so it's a baby, not, yeah. And it's
cheap.
Like,
children aren't cheap. So, but that's not even the pieces that aggravate me. Okay. So, and then efforts to combat climate change in America, retraining workers, investing in clean air technology and, solar panel technology where it could be beneficial. Enthusing the U.S. steel market and other materials to create hundreds of thousands of good jobs at home. Advanced environment justice for new clean energy and sustaining acceleration so the projects around the country will deliver 40% benefit off the investment.
Mm-hmm.
Reducing the cost of prescription drugs, strengthening the Affordable Care Act, closing the medical coverage gap, leading to 400 million uninsured people to gain coverage, expanding medical coverage to include hearing benefits, like your grandmother's hearing aids, like your child's hearing aids.
Well, yeah, like anyone's. Like, I still don't get this. I Medicaid in West Virginia, Medicaid in general doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
So here, like, there's two ways you end up on Medicaid. One is like Medicaid as part of like long-term disability.
Right.
And then there's Medicaid as what is intended to be temporary insurance due to unemployment or underemployment. as in you're economically disadvantaged and need health care. Okay. Help me understand. Somehow I get where someone thinks, okay, we're going to have disability version of this and we're just going to warehouse people. Like, we're not going to try to make them better. We're just going to warehouse them until they drop dead. But then you have the temporary version. And for the longest time, only recently have we added dental coverage.
Right.
And it's still not great in West Virginia. We've added dental coverage. We only cover eye care up to age 21. We only cover, certain forms of like hearing issues.
Right.
Not hearing aids, most definitely. So tell me how it is that you expect someone who is or underemployed or otherwise economically disadvantaged to improve their situation if they can't hear, they can't see, and they can't eat, and we have a massive problem in this country and have had and all around the world with judging people on their dental. Like, it is the greatest predictor. Your dental situation is your greatest predictor of long-term economic wealth. Point blank, we will treat people like absolute garbage if their mouth doesn't look right. But yet, we co-tie that with the economic ability to pay for that dental status.
Right.
So, like, here we are. We can literally have someone that, through no fault of their own, gets in a car accident, loses their job because they can't work for an extended period of time that exceeds the bounds. In that massive accident, loses all their teeth or a good chunk in the front, may never economically recover from that because every time they go for a job interview, they can't smile. Like, hi, where are we with that? Why do we think this somehow mentally works? That, like, how do you get a job if you can't hear? How do you get a job if you can't see?
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, my glasses are not like a fashion statement.
No.
Like, the worst thing that has happened to me recently. Like, you'd think it would be the car. You'd really think in the last week the worst thing that's happened to me was the car. It was not. It was the simple accidental stupidity of laying my glasses on the coffee table while I take a nap, and the dog comes in and chews them up. And I'm just like, and I'm having that freak out that, like, oh God, please tell me we still have the glasses without prism. Like, I'm on a, like, I don't know, 3-4-year-old prescription right now for my glasses. Pardon?
For the moment.
For the moment. I know. I'm not. I know. Like, it's fine. But, like, I'm okay. I'm just saying. But if I didn't have these, I would be potentially wearing glasses that have prism and will really mess up my vision and throw my eyes actually out of alignment. Because there was a while after I had my neck surgery, I had to have prism correction, or before my neck surgery, actually. Or I could not have any spare glasses. And what do I do at that point?
Right.
Like, to help one understand in the audience where I'm at without my glasses, I can't see the big E. The big E, it doesn't exist to me. I see a big white light. That's how well I can see. How is someone that ends up in my position that is trying to fix their life and get back employed supposed to drive to an interview? read an application, fill out an application, work,
Mm-hmm.
to even get to the point where they have the money to buy glasses. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Right.
Like, it's the most high. Could you have a V8 moment here?
Right. Well, and it's the moment where, people have to, get real and understand that these are real things for America. Now, also in the Build Back Better plan is expanding the earned income tax credit, expanding access to affordable, high-quality education beyond high school, promoting nutritional security to support children's health. This is the plan which gives the children free breakfast and lunch at school, and during the summer months, $65 per child per month to the families, to more than 29 million children. Strengthen the middle class through historical investments in equality, safety, and fairness. Invest in immigration reform, which, helps our farming community and brings our food bills down. And what's even better is it's fully paid for. By rolling back the Trump administration's rebate rules and plans to be fully paid by asking more than the largest 100, those are the people earning over $500,000 a year.
Like, and I'm sorry, if I like $500,000 a year, you've got to recognize that you don't make that because, like, you're struggling.
Right.
Like, you don't make $500,000 a year and tread water.
Right.
Like, you've got to recognize that, like, the things that you are doing to make $500,000 or more a year are very codependent upon many, many people beneath you.
Right.
Like, on a corporate ladder.
Yeah. And also
many
large profitable companies from paying $0 in taxes. And, that would make them pay a minimum of 15% taxes on corporate returns.
Oh, yes. Oh, so yeah, $500,000, Ashley, is the tax level at which people would be taxed. That would be the new tax. New taxes would be for those making $500,000 a year or more. Right. Like, it's ridiculous. And we do have some questions coming in. And I think I said hi to Dottie. So yeah. But no, but this is what we're bitching. This is what there's bitching over. This is what Manchin doesn't support. Right. I don't get it. Like, I'm sorry, this seems like a no-brainer. Like, I get why a bunch of heads stuck up their ass, snake eating its own tail Republicans are having a moment.
Right.
And it's like, oh, there's a Democrat proposing it, so, screw everyone.
Well, not only that, but everyone in that making that decision, Republican and Democrat, would have to pay more taxes. Because we don't have a senator or a representative that is not making more than $500,000 a year and doesn't have at least $9 million in assets.
Is that actually still true?
Yes.
Because I'm wondering about AOC. Because that was kind of the thing. She was waiting tables before. Like, I'm just, like, I want to be very careful.
Right.
Okay, so let's see. USA Today fact-checked back in March that her, Representative Alexandria AOC's is not close to 1 million. It's been shared a lot online. She has assets between $2,000 and $31,000 in her most recent financial disclosure, and student loan debt between $15,000 and $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she is actually, she's been estimated pretty much, like other than her paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
that's about it. That's her, like her paycheck for being a representative. That's like 174,000. Yeah, 174,000 a year. So yeah. But prior to that, she made like 25,000.
Yep.
Yeah, 25,000 in income.
Right.
Prior to being elected. So yeah, no. She is one that is not worth she does not have $500,000, let alone $1 million in assets or more.
Right.
She would literally be the probably the only one not like Oh yeah, we spoke about the Bette Midler comments briefly.
Yeah, we agree with her.
Oh yeah, we're there. There's nuance to that, but I don't have a problem with what she said. That's where I'm at with Bette Midler. Like, it's an unpopular opinion. A lot of people are ticked off about it. I don't disagree. I think it's the nicest way anyone could have put how West Virginia is currently doing.
Well, knowing that, but how West Virginia in general has been doing since the 50s.
Yeah.
Since the 50s. All right, let's take our questions and then we'll switch topics.
Alrighty. So I think we're up first with Ashley's mother-in-law, 92971. How serious is Megamind about me?
I think he's decently serious. He sees you as someone with influence and power, and he likes that.
I'm just saying, slip a sable under her tree.
Mm-hmm. All
right, and then Ashley 82696. Should I follow my cousin's advice?
No. You should follow your heart. Ace of Cups. And here's why. I think your cousin is a little jaded on some things.
Alrighty.
Oh, she needs to have an appointment with me so she can get the full Aeson experience.
You know.
All right, let's take a sip, guys.
Alrighty.
All right. So let's talk about some wastefulness of our government, shall we? Trump's border wall. You know, that border wall that we invested billions of dollars from our armed forces that did not have proper secure, bulletproof vests and stuff when we were in Afghanistan. Yeah. Take it away.
So, worth at least $250 million, the steel bollards are a relic of the Trump era. It's now a pile of rusting steel. Tens of thousands of heavy steel slats, once destined to become part of former President Donald Trump's border wall, are slowly rusting in the open air throughout the southwestern borderlands. The bollards, 18 or 33 foot long hollow posts, most of them reinforced with concrete and rebar, are worth at least $250 million. The Department of Defense owns most of that steel, but it's unclear what will or can be done with it. For now, it remains in spiderweb stacks, sunning themselves in vast staging areas along the wall. Oh, what a crock. Like, we knew that was going to happen, though.
And then
Um.
okay, listen to me. We've got steel walls rusting in the Southwest. We've got pipeline rusting in the mountains.
Mhm. Yeah.
We've got equipment sitting there going dead. What the heck? Why don't we build something?
Exactly. I mean, because we've already spent the money. Like we've already spent the money, and if we're talking about like 18 and 33 foot long posts,
Mm-hmm.
like you gotta be able to tell me that those can be used to build housing, something
Housing, factories,
like
you know, there's no way that could not be used to build still housing. There's no way that the piping that we've got sitting around here could not be used to move water from California to, from, Colorado to California that's been needing more pipelines. Water pipelines, it's a pipe, it'll contain the water and it's supposed to move oil so it won't be leaking. What the hell?
well, they haven't had the best luck with that. Let's not get ahead of
leaks. But if water leaks, what are you going to get? A river? At most?
Flooded by water isn't the worst thing. Always.
It's better than flooded by crude oil.
Flooded by crude oil is pretty flippin' bad.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to knock anywhere off the,
right,
off the map, but yeah, I think we can manage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of crumbling infrastructure, and to just think about that much, like billions of dollars in steel and concrete, reinforced concrete, you would think someone, like an architect somewhere, should read this story and be like, how could I build affordable housing out of this material? Like, how could we reuse this? Because fundamentally it was built for one purpose. Granted, shouldn't have been built, but it's bought and paid for. It's sitting there in a stack.
Right.
It's ready to go. How could we turn this into like affordable housing?
Right. Well,
like
Phoenix
we
is
have
already
a
up to it. He's ready to go down there and start building housing.
Oh, I can weld a fart to a hurricane. Let me at them. Yeah. Oh, there you go. But no, I'm just sitting here going, like, how can we? It's just going to sit there and deteriorate. Like, but I would think somewhere there would have to be an architect that could pull this off and be like, how can I take these segments and make a thing?
Make a bridge. Make a house. Make multiple houses. Make a complex.
Oh, yeah. Windmills, aqueducts, hydroelectric. Yeah, there's a lot of things I would think we would be able to use them. And I'm talking about repurposing.
Right.
Like, how could we repurpose it?
Right.
Like, I would think structurally that's a hell of a piece of structure. I would think at worst you could combine like 3 or 4 together and make a superstructure if you needed it. It may be a little imperfect for what one would normally think of, but dear God, like at least pillars to support,
right.
Like especially the concrete reinforced ones. I mean, my God,
yeah,
like I don't know, but it's not going to happen. That's what I hate about this. It is such an ugly hot topic, ugly place that is coming from that no one wants to touch it.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like I would be thrilled to see that's moved to different areas, and consolidated into affordable housing.
Right.
Like decent, affordable housing.
Right.
Like, and because we've had a massive problem with that. Like, we've been stuck on this concept of trying to get out of government-run housing, trying to get out of quote-unquote ghettos, trying to get out of this concept. That unfortunately all we've ended up doing is just ruining a bunch of people's credits and leaving a lot of people struggling to make ends meet. Right. With, you know, a landlord-tenant situation in which the landlord already doesn't want you as a tenant because they're not making enough money off of you. Right. And fundamentally, if you don't go, like, you know, a HUD voucher route, your head's underwater. Right. Like, you cannot, in most areas of this country, on the current wage that you could expect, even now after it's gone up, you're still, like, at best treading water. Right. To make that monthly payment. Right. Like, no, I would think we could do better. Right. Like, that's my take on it. I say make housing.
I say that we take a community stock in what we have. Well, I say we take a stock. We take a stock of what the federal government owns in materials, and we put it to work where we need it in this country. If we need housing in Florida, take a team of welders and a couple semi-truck drivers, load that crap up and go down to Florida and build some housing. If we need some bridges took care of up here in West Virginia, because we've seen every bridge in our area get worked on, patchwork worked on, load that shit up and take it up to, bring it up here. Bring those welders from Florida up here. Tell them, get to work. We've paid for this stuff already. It's like spare materials in this house. When I buy extra, we put it to work.
Usually. Now, we did finally get to throw away some drywall and some lumber.
We got to throw away a half a sheet of drywall.
Yep.
And that's just because I didn't feel like mudding my office. I'm just now getting it to where I can deal with it.
I know.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, but even with that, it's like, no, like, you can't use everything, but billions of dollars worth of materials.
And this is
billions of
it
dollars.
Can be melted back down. Open up one of those factories in Pennsylvania. Put those people to work reprocessing this.
Yeah.
If it isn't what you need, send it back and get it reprocessed.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. Call me weird, call me crazy. But I think that, no, we should be trying some experimental housing. Mm-hmm. I'm absolutely loving the idea of the 3D printed concrete housing. Mm-hmm. I mean, just that alone.
Right.
Like, why aren't we funding this heavily?
Right.
I mean, it's not a guarantee this is going to be the greatest home you'll ever own. This is not a guarantee. Right. But it's an opportunity to do two things. Find out, is this a viable living, condition? Mm-hmm. As well as ensure that everyone has a home.
Right.
And if you do that in a way in which the government is going to back this shit up, mm-hmm. and go, look, if this all goes to hell, we'll fix it.
Right.
Like, we will get you into better housing. We will resolve this issue. We will take care of it. But it's an opportunity to test an entirely new building technique that could revolutionize building as we know it. Mm-hmm. And really drastically improve the world. Right now, we're just kind of teetering with this concept mm-hmm. of three-dimensionally printing homes.
Right.
Like, you load up a giant... It is the coolest process to ever... It really is. You should watch some videos. There's some great videos of houses being built this way. I think they're amazing. And my mind runs rampant. Like, why aren't we doing more of this? Mm-hmm. Like, energy efficient... Like, theoretically, energy efficient, super stable housing. Like it's not getting knocked over tomorrow. You know.
And we need to build that in places that need it. Like the West Coast that is now being battled by storms. Major storms, flooding storms, snow out the wazoo, powerful storms here.
Well,
Imagine
I don't think
there's a steel.
Yeah, and coastal areas in general.
Right.
Like, if you're gonna keep having this, like, I want to live on the coast dream, you need some housing.
Yeah, you need some steel. They can take the hurricane, that Phoenix was talking about here. That can take them putting it out there.
Alrighty, Ashley, you have a great and wonderful rest of your night. I'm sure you're a little tipsy and you deserve it. You do. Now, be responsible. Very little for baby gifts. Like, I don't want to see any photos of baby guests doing a crib dance. Like,
but put houses on pillars. Build the house of the pillars. Make it a pillar house that is. Imagine if a house was totally concrete and steel outside. The roof is steel. The walls are concrete. A hurricane hits that, it's just going to run around it. Eventually, you'll have to, do some patchwork.
Well, yeah. Well, and it's not that concrete is a perfect material. It isn't.
No.
But no, I think there are a lot of it, and there are still like things that we're not utilizing, like permeable pavement.
Right.
The number of people who don't even realize that's a thing. That pavement that absorbs water, that redirects water. Why aren't we why?
Right.
Aren't we taking some areas that are already suffering? And okay, let's try some things here. We'll back it as a government.
Right.
We will back this up. Like, if it goes wrong, let's do that. Hemp. Oh my God. Like, if you want a reason to get pissed off at Baptist, hemp really always sets me off. That was the biggest scam ever, was the Baptist convention paying for, what is that stupid film? Reefer Madness. That had absolutely nothing to do with people getting high, had everything to do with the American paper industry and the American timber industry and the American textile industry. We could have had hemp everything. You could have had paper that was near indestructible. You could have had the most sustainable materials for housing ever.
Right, but then it wouldn't have been cost effective. Now we've got money we've wasted. $500 million here. $500 million wasted, just sitting there melting away in the Arizona desert.
No, not $500 million, billions.
Yeah.
Not even $500 million, like more than that. Way more than that. Billions of dollars wasted.
Right. All right, let's take a sip because we're going to get into an Aeson. We'll set it.
Okay.
Actually, let's go hot tea. All right, at least a month ago on a show, I talked about this becoming the thing. That the reason that we were able to get our vaccines through as fast as we could was they were already working on this drug, and all they did was they switched the carrier of the drug. And for those that don't understand what a carrier of a drug is, it's the delivery system, whether it is capsule or a fluid solution or whatever. That we got vaccines for COVID so fast because they had been working on a delivery system for HIV. Well, this
HIV
week,
prevention.
HIV prevention. This week, the FDA approved the first injectable HIV prevention drug. Yep, 2 FDA trials analyzed the safety and effects of this novel drug. has found appropriate attitudes to more than likely reduce than the daily oral medicine by 69% for cis men and transgendered women who have sex with men, and by 90% of cisgendered women.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not perfect, but goddamn,
it's an
I'm sorry, we're talking about my lifespan.
Right.
Where did we go? Where did we come from, and where did we go? Okay, before I was born, there was this new thing called GRID. We weren't sure what the fuck it was. We weren't sure how it really spread. We thought it might be sexual. We have gone through an entire learning process of how it, transmits. We eventually got to the point of, some really crappy drugs that worked for some people, but not everyone, and at least extended time for people. We have gotten to a phase in which it was 3 simple pills a day, then down to like 1. Then we got to PrEP.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're at, the early stages of a potential vaccine against HIV.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're working with a different delivery system or a different concept. This is an every 2-month injection, so 6 shots a year dramatically decreases the likelihood of getting HIV.
Right.
It's insane.
Right.
And some of this is like, we're just talking like the last 10 years.
Right.
That we've moved to like, PrEP and this, as well as, I want to say it's within the last 10 years we got to 1 pill a day. It may be more like 15.
Are we talking PrEP or are we talking AIDS medicine itself?
HIV medication in and of itself.
Yeah, that's within the last 10 years. PrEP is within the last 5.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, on the 1 pill a day concept. And all this for something that started out that like you were going to be dead in 10 years.
10 years, 2 weeks.
Well, for people that were originally showing up in the very, very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The very, very beginning. Were basically dropping dead because they didn't have HIV anymore.
Right.
They had turned full-blown AIDS.
Right.
They had moved well past the HIV window.
Right.
And it had overtaken their body. But an original, like if you had like 1982, you had a child born with HIV. That child had like 10 years before they were going to develop AIDS, most likely. Right. Or if you were, the first time you had sex, you got HIV, you're 18 years old. That doesn't always work out, but follow along with me. You weren't going to see your 30th birthday.
Right.
We went from that to this in the span of 40 years. That's pretty flippin' amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the part you called. Or one part of what you called. Now, I believe you also were thinking that this also moves us closer to cancer treatment as well, doesn't it?
Yes, they have started the cancer treatment. The actual cancer vaccine, Pfizer is in testing.
Wow. We're getting there.
Yeah. Breast cancer is undergoing testing, so they've started the trial of it. Because now they have the proven delivery system.
Like, talk about your silver lining in a horrible situation.
Right. Wouldn't it be something that by the time you hit your 50th birthday, that, there's measles, mumps, rubella, this weird disease called AIDS, and then the cancer shot that kids get when they're 7.
Well, yeah, and especially if you're talking about like by the time I'm 70 and like we start having conversations like and we have these new like, whatever the fuck replaces TikTok in like 30 some years. On there having to learn about this weird thing that like that's a third world country disease.
Right.
Like like we talk about malaria now.
Right.
Like how do you get malaria? Like
Yeah.
in the US, how the fuck do you get malaria? Like no one gets malaria.
Right.
Not in the US, not in most major countries. You really have to go way off the map.
Right.
To the back beyond horrible conditions to even think about malaria.
Right.
I would like HIV to be there.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how the fuck did someone get, like, have you traveled outside the country?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what horrible, like, where in Rwanda were you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, otherwise, like, you did not get HIV on your Roman holiday. You did not get HIV because you went to Vegas for a weekend. Mm-hmm. You did not get HIV because you went to Canada. Like,
right.
Get it there.
I would love it to be consumption.
Oh yeah, like who the fuck dies of consumption anymore?
Right.
Like where did you go? What did you do? How did it happen? Did you try? Like, did you order it in the mail and put it in your arm? Like, how did you get consumption?
Right.
Like,
yeah,
it's not a thing. No one gets that anymore.
Right.
I would love it to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brenda, exactly. AIDS is only in the history books. That would be wonderful. Absolutely. And yeah, the COVID vaccine kicked all this off. Or more importantly, the search for this is probably also part of why there's a bunch of people that are really pissed off about that whole COVID vaccination thing. It was literally HIV research.
Yeah.
Like this thing that so many people are so adamant that, they're still stuck in this whole grid concept that it's a gay thing. Are just so ticked off, I'm sure, that it was research towards this that allowed you to have a COVID vaccination,
right?
Or at least a delivery, effective delivery method for a COVID vaccination,
right?
I know that's going to be ticking some people off.
Oh, that's kicking a lot of people off. That's probably one of their number one issues. Because I'm forever have said, and will continue to say this, if this struck 40-year-old cis men, straight cis men, in a heart, we would have had a cure for AIDS in 1987.
Oh hell, but that goes along the same lines of if straight cis men got pregnant, you would be able to find more abortion clinics than ATMs. Like, I'm just saying. Like, if pregnancy happened to men, like birth control, my God. Like, if men got periods, like, fuck. Like, you would be like, there would be drive-through, like, period products.
Right.
Like, you would just be, like, there would just be a whole place that you could just drive through and be like, I'd like 3 beers, some chocolate, and I need some tampons.
Right.
Like, but that's, like, just general world.
Well, I think they would have already fixed that. Point blank, I'll be honest, I think there would be a pill you take and you just don't have it.
Yeah. You'd think there'd be better science on this by now. Like, just as a theory.
Right. So, in your hot tea, Britney Spears is attempting to make his poor daughter pay his legal fees and him while he turns over his documents.
Oh, take a sip.
Mm-hmm. Sip. I need a whole bottle, honey.
Oh. So Britney Spears' dad is still trying to leech off of her. So she's free, but her dad has actually petitioned the court to keep paying his legal fees. And this fucking lawyer, I swear to fucking God.
This is his second branch as a lawyer because his billion-dollar lawyers quit the day they lost the case.
Well, yeah. But quote, it would be contrary to public policy if Jamie's years of dedication to protect his daughter could subject him to personal bankruptcy and ruin defending baseless claims, the petition reads. No person would ever want to step into the role as conservator if a conservatee could force a conservator to personally pay substantial legal fees defending unfounded allegations. This is what that dumbass lawyer of Jamie Spears had the audacity.
Right. Well, it's because he knows otherwise he will not get paid. Jamie will file bankruptcy on the legal fees and be done. Now, here's the thing with Jamie Spears. He is known to file bankruptcies. He has filed many of them. We found out that he got that literally Star gave him a personal $4 million loan and then extorted it out of Britney. Okay, and we're not talking about someone living on Social Security.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, when we begin looking at how much he has made off his daughter, keeping her as a slave, we are looking at almost no less than $5 million. Plus his, $1,600 a month.
Well, and the reality is we may never know. Like, it's going to take years to figure out how much money has been diverted to him on his behalf in business interests that he controls. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
they had to redo her trust. Okay, for those that don't know this, when you have a large situation like she does of $60 million, you don't want that to be under your personal control. That is too much to try to control and keep up with. So you put it into a trust. He had hidden in the fine print of the trust that any changes made to the trust had to go through the court so he could still control her trust. So the lawyers had to close the trust and reopen a trust in a new trust. They now have to go through all 24 companies' corporate documents and make sure that he doesn't have ruling control over them. And maybe refile those corporate documents in her name for her, or close that company and open another one.
Yeah.
And she may have to pay out his stock options that he's wrote into the companies.
Yeah. Like, he created the golden parachute of golden parachutes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he is layered and layered. Like, not only is it just like the direct ways in which he was cruel, toxic, and abusive. It's all the like he's layered it. It just it's layers of, like, contingencies on contingencies on contingencies. Of just in case this didn't work out, he made sure that it was a Russian nesting doll.
Right.
Of like, oh, you think you're rid of me, but you're not.
Not.
Like, if you want to get rid of me from here, you have to pay me out. If you want to get rid of me here, you have to pay me out. If you want to get rid of me here, you have to pay me out.
Right.
Like, it's insane what all he's done.
Well, not only that, but it's now coming out that he may have even organized the breakdown.
I don't think anyone in her situation can be blamed for having a breakdown.
I know.
Like,
But what I'm saying is, it is coming out and it is coming to light that he organized the paparazzi and used them as a tool to stalk her to cause the breakdown.
Well, yeah. Well, and I'm saying even if he didn't, right. I still say, no, no, like her life enough just in this situation would be enough,
right,
to cause a breakdown. Like, being a pop star or being a star, being a celebrity is already bad enough. Like, we saw what that did to Princess Diana.
Right.
Alone, just the paparazzi itself.
Right.
And celebrity. That was crazy.
Right.
This isn't that much longer after.
No, this is during the same time.
Yeah.
This is why Meghan Markle is no longer Princess Meghan Markle.
Yeah. Like, just to put this, in case someone, like, ever uses this as research. Oh, come on. I can't type right. So, yeah. So that was her breakdown following her 2007 divorce. Okay. Then you have... And then what? Princess Diana's death was only 10 years before. Like, I'm sure the paparazzi did not change that much in 10 years. I don't even think 20 years on, 10 years plus on, that they've really changed all that much.
They haven't. They have
like,
not. Now, what has happened is we now see people with better bodyguards. We now see homes that are estates that are built like forts. And when I say forts, they are built like forts. They have 20-foot brick fences with barbed wire. They have houses being built with anti-photo lenses, glass, to where you can't take a photo in it. Since this. You know, and it was recent that, that her boyfriend's the new boss. Here's why: is because the day Jamie Spears was yeeted, he fired everyone before he was fully yeeted. So she came into this free, but trying to run a corporation with media after her. Everybody wants Brittany on the show. Which, by the way, Brittany, if you want to be a guest on the Psychic Coffee Shop, feel free to contact me, honey. You can find me in your Twitters. But anyhow, I doubt that she'll ever see this. But
probably not.
Even me, even me, I have to have interference.
Yeah.
I have the networks that run interference for me. You run interference for me. Our invisible assistant handles some things. Because otherwise, it's a constant stream for me. I cannot imagine her.
Well, yeah. Well, and it's like here's some real talk here, okay? You're lucky. 99.9% of your clients are absolutely amazing, wonderful people that we have zero issues or concerns or worries for your personal safety about.
Right.
Note, I didn't say 100%. I'm saying like 99.9. There have been a few. A very small few that we've had moments like, this one scares me. I like, this one's making me uncomfortable. Like, they're crossing some lines here. Like, and you've had that, like, even with network clients, you've had network clients that you've had to be like, nope. I'm blocking you. Like, I don't need, like, you're scaring me. You're getting way too dependent. You're getting way too, like, you're spending more money than you have. like you're making some really
you should not be
bad.
calling me to ask what color socks to wear with your pants.
No, nor should, like, let me tell you, like, a sentence that will freak your psychic out is if you say things like, well, I'm just going to late pay, I talked to my landlord, I'm going to late pay my rent this month to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. That transaction will get declined and you will be blocked. I promise you that.
Yeah, like, that's a moment, like, that's a call that's going to shut you down quickly. Because that's like, whoa.
Right.
That's not how you use the service. This is not how, like...
Right.
Because, one, that horrifies you.
Yes.
To literally think someone could become homeless because they called you.
Right.
Let alone everything else they've potentially had to give up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's not even just like scammer. He's had people that have been that fanatic. And it's like, whoa, cut the cord. It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like, it's an addiction.
And I'll stop it. As soon as I see a sign of it, I'll stop it. I'm sorry. That's the way I am. I know there are many psychics out there that will let you talk for 2 and 3 hours. I don't know what the hell to talk to you about for 2 or 3 hours. Your life isn't that complicated. I have cars that talk to me for 20 minutes.
Yeah. No, like he's had those kinds of clients that are like, and they're few and far between. They're in that 0.1%, but they happen. Yeah. And it's like, no, you've gone too far.
The other side of that, where it's and this is other places that you will see Joe engage, that I have Joe auto engage for me, is people want to come and do interviews. People want to come and have me part of documentaries. People want to come and do this. People want to come and do that. No, there are some things I will not be a project of, a part of, or a correction of. Not my deal. I am not here to convince the world that psychics are real. I am not here to convince the world that I can rule the world better than the world is ruling itself. I am not God, please. I may be a demigod because I have the God spark in me, but I am not God.
Yeah. Well, and there's also those moments, too, of, like, honestly, you run a business at all.
Yeah.
And it is amazing the things that people think about that. In terms of, oh, you have a business, so it invents this idea like you have millions of dollars. And that, like, well, it's no problem for you to do this for free, and it's no problem for you to do that for free. And then there's this whole, like, exposure culture that, like, you'll do anything for free so you get your name out there. And it's like, yeah, see, no.
No, see, I have a tech husband. He Googles me once a month. But see, the other side of this business, and this is the side that Britney Spears gets, and I get a lot of too, is people get enamored. People get, paparazzi, stalkers. Husbands that are mad because I gave their wife the tools to understand and how to divorce them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not like, that's part of the problem sometimes when you are dealing with people in, like, tense situations. Like, tense relationship situations, and you gotta tell them the truth. That, like, yeah, his dumbass is cheating on you. And,
which, as soon as we find a supplier for merch, I want a shirt that says burn his shit. Because, I will tell them, you need to divorce him. He's an asshole. Get as far away from him as possible. He is a narcissistic son of a bitch. I have no problem telling somebody that. Like, every reading is not a happy joy. Oh, honey, he loves you. He Prince Charming in a bad suit. I don't do those readings. Sorry. My readings aren't always happy and sweet and loving and nice.
It's not
Sometimes
that you
they're
don't
fucking deadly.
No, it's not that you don't do those readings. You do those readings. There are those readings. That's a legitimate situation people are in. Is like, yeah, he's rough around the edges, okay?
Yeah. Like, teach him not to piss on the carpet.
work through it. But then you get to people that it's like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Right.
Like I haven't had a good card on this dude the whole time we're talking. Like it's like it is just like a deck of Tower and Death right here. Like what the hell?
Right.
You know, but so it's taking that situation. You're not going to just be, well, he's a little rough around the edges. Death and Tower, really? Like you're getting all the signs of change your life before it ends.
Right.
Like there's no.
Right. So, we've got to deal with those husbands that can't deal with that. And then, one of my lovely lessons in being a psychic was to go through a stalker situation. And I still have one. And recently it was really triggered. It wasn't the stalker. He's behaving. We haven't seen him for a little while. When
we got mugged.
We got mugs. Neither one of us ordered the package. We're both freaking out, going, okay, do we open it? Do I need to take it up to the hospital to have it x-rayed? Because
we start
neither one of us was heard from.
Yeah. Like, is it lead-based paint? Was it covered in anthrax? Are we already dead? Like, what happened?
Right.
Like, it's rare we have unanticipated packages. So it's one of those things that it's like, what is this? Where'd that come from? Yeah, should I call the boom boom squad?
Right. And we had this happen yesterday, and I was kind of a little freaking, and I'm like, get me a spoon. Let's open this very carefully, because one of the companies I work with sent me a Christmas present. It was a really nice Christmas present. They did not let me know it was being sent.
Yeah, and it didn't clearly say who it was from.
It didn't say clearly who it was from. It didn't say anything about that. And I'm like, and I have 2 additional people in this house. My squad, they're used to it. It's used to being, this is how this is handled. This is what this does. This sits here for a little bit and we think about this. I've got 2 additional people in the house. And I'm going, okay, get me a spoon and let's figure out how to, if we open this with a spoon, it's very easy to open tape and stuff and not trigger things. Or you can tell if there's tension behind it, so you stop. And my heart's going 20 miles a minute. So I will please request, if baristas who have my address and send me something.
You don't have to tell us what's in it.
You don't have to tell us what it is. You just tell us that there's a package coming.
You have a package on its way. Okay, cool. Granted, we do the same thing to our baristas.
No, they get told. They get pictures of the packages going out. They don't get surprised for that factor.
Oh yeah, no, but and it was one of those things I never really stopped and thought about. I've never had that pause until I started working at a debt collections agency. It really, you see this stuff in the news, and companies get mail with ricin and blah blah blah, and you don't really think that's something that could happen to me. Do you know who hates someone more than the, soon to be ex or is now an ex of the cheating bastard of the person who calls into a psychic? Every fucking debtor on the planet dealing with a debt collection agency. And debtor is just a term. It is not an insult. You would not believe the number of people that have bad debt, and most of them are rich. Rich people don't pay shit. No. Governor Justice is an example. It's that level of just they never pay anyone. They will argue to hell and back over $20 fucking.
Right. Like an envelope that doesn't have a return address on it, you have to deal with it.
And I'm a little more gung-ho. The stuff we used to get at a debt collections agency, one, people can be petty about paying a debt. We used to get super glued money. Someone would if say the it was $50.18. Someone would go through the trouble of super gluing $51 bills together and putting like a dime, a nickel, and 3 pennies and super gluing all that together and mailing it and being like, good luck. We used to get stuff that was smeared in or soaked in like urine and feces. We used to get those. Like, that's a moment. We would get stuff that, like, we would get shredded money. Like, people would take the $50 to pay their $50.18, and they would fucking shred the bills and, like, sit there and, like, hammer the coins. We got crap like that. Like, it was weird. Like, the amount of stuff. We had people that dearly loved to use flour or sugar. And by the way, none of this. Side note, these are like what I'm getting into right now is considered I believe, a federal felony. Do not attempt this at home. You've been warned. But the number of people who love putting salt, flour, and sugar into envelopes. Do not try this at home. You will get a knock on your door. It's not funny. You can shut down an office very, very quickly. But people would pull it. Like, and I'm just sitting there working for this company like, oh my God.
Right. Well, it's like me. I get sent obituaries.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, I get sent different things, and it's like, what?
It's just weird and creepy, and I never have quite understood, like, what is the whole, like, mindset on that one? Have we ever figured that part out?
We haven't.
Like, but yeah, so, yeah, your stalker ex, thankfully locked up, would send, every time someone you went to school with died, would cut out their obituary and mail it to you. And I'm just sitting here like, I would find that creepy. Like, why? Would you do that? But at the same time, it's also like, why would you do that?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
so, you know, any mail that doesn't have a return address on it, Joe gets to handle it. That was his, first week here? It was like, yeah, because this is during the time when the invisible assistant was passing off duties to the, to him and going, and just walks in.
You deal with this.
Here, you get to deal with this, this, and this.
Yeah, I was having great reminders of when I started working for the debt collection agency. And the newest member of the IT department got to hand out office supplies. As a weirdo associated like process we handled. And within 2 weeks, I got called into HR because for the first time ever, I turned it into a little assembly line. I used little baggies and whatever you requested, I took a little piece of scratch paper, and the company I worked for, everything was built around initials. And this was all going great. Until HR got told that I was handing out a baggie of PCP. Because that particular collector's initials were PCP. So Princess Price, wherever you are, Jerry and I had a moment. I almost got fired that day for giving you your office supplies because I got called, like, he was so intense. When he called me into the office, I was like seconds away from getting fired for distributing drugs on company property. And he's like, can you explain to me why you would be handing out a baggie labeled PCP? And I said, what are you talking about? Well, you put this baggie on and he named the employee, and it dung like a bell in my head. And I went, you mean the collector whose initials are PCP? Why did I put a baggie of office supplies on her desk labeled PCP? Okay. He finally got it. We laughed hysterically afterwards, but he thought I was distributing drugs.
Right. Now you just get to distribute the mail to either the trash can or my desk or the mail.
Open it, surprise!
Yeah.
It's a car bomb!
Yeah.
I have anthrax.
Yeah. You're the healthiest, youngest in the house. You can deal with it.
Oh, thanks. No.
You're welcome. All right, let's sip and take a look at our most heartwarming. So, this segment's becoming one of my favorite segments. It's called Good News. And this one's really good news. Man loads his truck with a grill and food to help tornado victims in Kentucky. Following a recent flurry of tornadoes in Mansfield, Kentucky, it was all hands on grill as a nonprofit and individual alike fired up their barbecues to feed people. I figured I'd do what I could do, said Jim Finch, a man who, for no other reason than the people were in need, loaded his truck with food, water, and a barbecue grill and drove to Mansfield.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh. No, it's a lovely story.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Oh, to Mayfield where the hurricanes hit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Pitmasters were involved. Pitmasters barbecued Old Hickory Pit. They loaded up and took off too.
That is absolutely amazing. Like, it really is part of the wonders of owning a food truck. Is you literally can take your food anywhere.
Right.
Like, it is a fully portable kitchen. I know it's all for publicity when like Tide does it. Because by the way, they have a mobile laundry. Yep. Tide does. Like they totally capitalize the fuck out of it. Like,
oh, it's total Tide coded. But you know what was even more shocking, and I don't remember the TikTok that done it. If I find the TikTok, I'll share it to the baristas. She had video of 100 school buses from Eastern Kentucky driving to Western Kentucky, full of cleaning supplies.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like, it's part of the whole, like, you just don't know until you end up in one of those situations just how nasty nature can be.
Right.
Like, it really is, like, back in 93, 94, it was the blizzard of 93 turned into the flooding of 94. And just the level of nastiness from that flooding. Like, you think of water, you think of flooding, you think you understand it until it actually happens.
Right.
And it's not just mud. It really isn't. You start running into issues with sewage included in that flooding. All the stormwater, all of the backed up stormwater systems, all of the businesses that it goes through, like before that water gets to you. The number of cars that end up submerged and their fluids leak out. Like, it's just this toxic, nasty soup.
Right.
That, like, yeah, there's mud and water and rocks and twigs and grass and all this other crap in it, which you would expect. It's not until you actually experience it, like, firsthand that you realize just how much else it is. and it is all just nasty.
Right.
And it's on everything. And it is just, Like, I look back on that. I stupidly waded down to the garage with my father through like 3 feet of water, like up above my waist, to go down to this garage. And it was during that process that it dawned on me, this isn't just water and some sticks and mud and crap.
No.
Like, it was just this toxic, nasty soup.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oh, I'm sure this is going to bode well for me later in life.
Maybe you got immunity to something, dear.
Do what now?
Maybe you got immunity to something.
Or malaria. I'm not sure.
Maybe that's why you got whooping cough.
You know, maybe that was it.
Yeah, let's leave that at his doorstep.
Oh, yeah, that's it. But no, it was just so nasty. And I literally, until that moment, never understood how nasty flooding could be. Like, you just think of flooding like it's a bunch of water. Right. No, it is not. No.
Well, and you know, what's even worse is this is a hurricane. I mean, not a hurricane, a tornado. Okay? This is a tornado. And this tornado literally has turned this town into a stack of toothpicks. When I see the pictures, I'm like, who put all the toothpicks there?
Yeah. Yeah. Lumber plus like wind plus rain plus pressure, like the sheer force of throwing lumber. Yeah. Lumber, that is not a condition lumber wants to be in. And it does some, like, lumber can do some nasty damage. Right. And not like just pick up a 2x4 and hurdle it. It's also just the stuff that happens when it slams against stuff, and then it picks up those bits and slams them again. And it just keeps going. And starts picking up nails and driving them into things. And throwing rocks through things. Like, projectiles, like, physics is so much fun.
Right.
Not for people this occurs to, but like things you don't even think of. That when you apply 100-mile-per-hour wind to, some shit happens.
Right.
That you would not expect. Like, you just, like, it doesn't happen normally. Right. Like, you know, you can throw a javelin, you can throw a 2x4 like one.
Right.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Beverly. And rest well. I think we are too about to close it out. But
yeah.
But no, I mean, it's scary, the things that happen. Scary. Like, physics is it's scary, it's awesome, it's like wild. And there are things that happen that are just like, that's not a thing. And it's like, well, no, 100-mile-per-hour wind makes projectiles out of everything. Like,
yeah, and that's when a pillow can kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get decapitated by things you would never expect.
Right.
Like, like in any other situation, you would not be decapitated by this.
Yeah.
You can be decapitated by that. You can lose a limb. You can have it pierce right through you like a bullet. Because wind. Period. Just.
Yep.
Like, if it can pick up a cow and throw it, you should be afraid of it.
Yep.
Like, that's my general theory of life. If it can pick up a cow and throw it, like, I think we should all agree. If it can pick up a cow and throw it, you should be afraid of it.
All right.
Like a whole cow, not like a baby calf. Like, you know, I'm talking about if you can launch a cow, you should be afraid of it.
Right.
Oh.
But.
Oh, yeah. Lose an eye from a flying unicorn. Yes. But the Shinston tornado, Brenda mentions, on opposing ends had pics of a railroad tie driven through a cow. And if you're not familiar, the railroad tie is that block of wood, and those are heavy. Driven through a cow, and straw driven into an animal.
Right.
Like, in normal situations, straw is not considered lethal.
Right.
But if you apply enough wind, straw can become lethal.
Right. But what's amazing to me is, and this is the story in itself gets me a lot, is when you see individuals like Finch, you see individuals like the smokers, you see people for no other reason than, well, hell, people need something to eat. Let's get moving.
Yeah, let's go feed some people.
Yeah,
like it's truly awesome. It's truly amazing. And it is a wonderful way, and especially to use a food truck. And I will say that is one of the things that excited me during COVID.
Right.
Were the number of food trucks that actually, because there were no events, started setting up in like random places.
Right.
And so you could have your fair food by just like going downtown.
Right.
Like you could have that cool fucking lemonade, strawberry lemonade thing that you dearly fucking, because I dearly fucking love those. That you get at like fairs and concerts and events by going downtown.
Right.
Go to a fucking Staples and there it is.
Right.
It was, I love that. I'm like, why isn't there more of that? Why don't they do this all winter? Like, why can't I get a falafel in the middle of January?
Right.
You know, I think we could all use a falafel in the middle of January.
Oh, I think we could. I think we could use the lovely, strawberry lemonade in the middle of March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be cool.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us this lovely Christmas Eve. I hope everyone has a lovely holiday weekend. Remember, stay safe. Wrapping paper can be reused if you want to reuse it. Otherwise, rip into it with madness. And for those that are not celebrating with anyone else, we hope we've made your celebration a little bit brighter. Merry Christmas.
Yes, and for those of
we
you,
have breaking news. Go for it.
Yes, we have NORAD with the Santa tracker. It is now heading for Charleston, West Virginia in 36 seconds. Guys, go to bed. Get your presents.
Yep. Yeah, if you want to get your presents, you better head to bed. Never know what Santa may be bringing you.
Exactly. So that is our Santa update, and we do want to thank, we've got to wait for them to go back around because I had to get all Santa on us. So yeah, we do want to thank our baristas. We love our Patreon sponsors. Thank you so much for your support. Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Guest, Shannon C, Shannon D, the ever wonderful Lady Gwendolyn, and thanks so much again for coming down to rescue us. And Charles Shaw. If you'd like to support the show or learn more about us or how you too can become a barista and all the wonderful benefits you would receive, please visit pcspnetwork.com.
Yep. So we will see you on Tuesday with the Psyche Coffee Shop. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show, and I hope you caught maybe the show yesterday, Coffee and Tea, that'll be going on every 3 weeks with me and Dottie. All right, y'all guys, have a wonderful night. Merry Christmas. Bye, y'all.
Ho, 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 and happy holidays. What?
This is the calm before the storm. You know what's coming, so be warned. You can't stop me now. You can't stop me now. All my feet have come too far for you. So tie 'em to the ground.